Psychic medium Debbie Romero here. Welcome to the show. Today we are going to unfold the mind from David Kárpáti's perspective as we talk about superpowers. What is your intuition saying to you, right, David? Oh my God, this is going to be
Oh my God,
fun.
yes. This is gonna be tons of fun.
Oh my gosh, it's always fun when you and I get together and with spirit, because we have this energy where spirit comes in and they're messing with us before we started. Computer was going haywire, REM pod was going off, and this is truly the beauty of how energy works, right? So David, welcome to the show. Let people know who you
Thank
are.
you.
Introduce yourself, my dear friend.
Okay, my name is David Kárpáti. I'm a healer and a psychic medium from Sweden. I've been doing some readings now on TikTok. So that is usually the platform where I go live. I've been doing that for a little bit more than 2 years now. And I combine healing, combine mediumship, combine psychic insights. But that's the usual thing that I do. So yeah, that's just short about me.
Sounds like we got a professional in the house, guys. Watch
Oh.
it. Oh, oh.
Oh.
So David,
Yes.
as you're on TikTok, you're dealing with a lot of different minds, right? So you're in the collective. I've been on your lives and I've seen you like hundreds to people in your show at one time, right? And all this energy with the taps and the gifts and the unfoldment. Like how are you able to maintain that energy when you're in that frequency?
I just feel like that is a collaboration that I have with my team, that we are usually, as soon as we go into I don't want to say like the performer energy, but that's kind of like what it is. Like it's some people say entertainment, right? But it's just that we are there to help a lot of people. The energy needs to be high and we just go with the flow with it. So as soon as you sit in power, like the energy changes so rapidly, so quickly. So I feel like that's just the cause of it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, we're going to talk about intuition, psychic energy, mediumship, spirit, and energy healing. And when we dive into energy, frequency, vibration, how would you describe intuition to someone who doesn't know that they're intuitive?
Oh, so actually at work, because I do 9 to 5 as well, and I've been interacting with some people that don't believe in stuff like this. But they are, what I can feel within them, highly attuned. They are also quite open up as well, but they're not aware of it. So what they think when they speak to spirits and stuff like that, what I've seen is that they think that that's their thoughts. They ain't their thoughts, but it's just like it doesn't really fit that personality in a way. It's like it's a bit weird. Like, why do you hear stuff like that? Because you don't usually talk in that way. So it's like when we start noticing stuff like this, you can already see that, oh wait, well, you shifted your energy. Now you're speaking in a different way. What happened? You know what I mean?
Ooh. So you're talking about influence of energy. Ooh, snap. And you know what I love? Like, okay, well, obviously you're at your 9 to 5 job. Your awareness is like to really go handle business for work, right? But as we all have senses, as your podcast show is the sixth sense, we all have senses. And for you guys, I threw a little plug in there for him, by the way. And that just came from Spirit World, right? So when you are working and we talk about the senses, we all have the ability to see, to hear, to taste, the clairs, right? So some of us can see things physically with our physical eyes, but even within our mind's eye. How would you describe the difference for someone like who is working at your 9 to 5 job and they're seeing things, but they don't understand it's really, the energies around them psychically or the energies of spirit?
Let's go first with mediumship, because that's the usual thing that I encounter when I talk with co-workers, when I talk to people out there as well, because that's the usual thing what people start noticing. It's like the shadow people, stuff start popping up in their peripheral, and they can't really understand, because as soon as they were to look over there, there's nothing really there. But that is the first sight of first signs that you are tapping more into your mediumship abilities.
Right.
And this is something just like you mentioned yourself, like all of us have the sixth sense. We have different clairs. We have different, like we have all the clairs, each and every one of us, but you are more highly attuned with one of them or maybe more of them. So therefore you rely a little bit more on certain senses. But when it comes to mediumship abilities and feeling, that's the usual first thing. Like I feel like I'm being watched, like I feel like I'm not alone all of a sudden. Then the stuff starting to like show up in the peripheral. That's one of the first signs that they are tapping more into mediumship abilities and they are present with spirits.
Right. You just took me with you into that energy of like dun dun dun. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
because we feel. And I think there's this stigma around energy, right? And it's because our mindset, where, as you said, there are people who don't believe, who don't know the difference if they're psychic or they're mediums or they're channelers or energy workers. Like all of it's the same energies. It's just how you said what Claire is picking up what and what we're working with, right? And there's no intent. So it's just naturally happening. It's a natural blend of the oneness, right? So
Yes.
I have seen that side of my eye, like, whoa, what was that shadow? Or what, like, you know, that energy just kind of trips you out. So for those who are not expecting that, it's like someone in your house and you're like, they didn't knock on the door, they just walked in. That's going to be scary. But at the same time, it's also from your mindset, right? So
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that you said that. Right on, David. Okay, so that's medium, that's spirit seen around you. So then when it goes to psychic, like what do you notice that happens to someone who's picking up psychically?
Well, I can only speak for now from my experience of it. It's when I'm inviting spirits, I have a room. So I expand my auric field for them to come in and start manipulating the energies around me and within me, because that's how it works. Like they manipulate the mind. That's the difference. But when I sit with like a client, or if I were to do psychic insights, I work a little bit more with my team, and I start to read the energy, and I go with the timelines of what a person is moving towards. So I can go in and see, okay, so this is bound to happen if you keep moving forward. As we know as well, when it comes to timelines, they can work a little bit differently because we have free will as well. So you can make a left turn or right turn instead of keep going straight. So that's the difference between it. So all of a sudden I don't have spirits manipulating the energy. I just go and feel what is lying ahead of you instead of what you have stored in your energy.
Right. I really love your explanation, because some people feel mediumship is just pure spirit, and I'm only going to do spirit, and spirit's going to communicate. And we truly go from one state of mind to another. Psychic information comes in, mediumship, where you have your spirit team. So you're truly doing the dance within the energies. Spirit is energy, psychic information is energy. So there's a blend, the no difference. It's just bring it back. Same energy. However, we're moving from state to state of the mind, alter state. From spirit, we're elevating up to connect to here, and then we can bring it back to the person that you're holding space for, to tap into their energy centers of what they're going through and what they're needing, or their awareness of teachings. So I want to give that information out there, because it's okay to be a medium and tap in psychically. It's a very natural process. If you look at it from a different perspective, it's all energy, right? So, we have to tread very lightly on predicting the future or diagnosing. There's a lot of ethical things that have to be placed in order for us to hold that container, that link for self and for others. But it doesn't mean that those energies don't happen.
Exactly.
Right? And I think this is the buffer that man created, a human law, versus what's a natural flow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when it comes to energy work, we also need to go back from the beginning when we came here as a kid, as a child. Like the first language we learned was energy. Like we started feeling like what's going on with your mom and dad, like what's the energy, what's the emotions behind it? Because that's what it is, the emotions you read. So each and every one of us speak energy, and that is also why it's so natural for us to just feel into it. So, and I just want to say that as well for someone who's also listening, if this is new to you, just like you mentioned as well, when the energy goes back and forth, is how we can see it between you and I right now is that you are a biocomputer and I am a biocomputer too, and we send signals in between us. But how I operate, and when I read your energy, so I take that energy and I send that up to my diagnostical team, so they will analyze that information and give that information back to me, so I know exactly what's going on.
right? For those who don't know, before we started, if you heard David, he expands his energy. He gets ready to work. He calls his team in, and the energy expanded all the way to my room because my computer was going haywire. I went to another computer. It was going haywire. And I got that talk like, dude, what did you do to my computer? And it's just truly the vibration and the power of how it can be manipulated through frequencies and vibration. And especially because we all vibrate differently, we all move differently, we're all meeting and adjusting to each other. So when we're looking at the emotion, we can take the emotion if we're not at that state of like, whoa, wait a minute. Like you and I are very sensitive souls. When I know David, for those who don't know, but we've shared brief conversations. We're like, we don't watch the news, we don't, so like, if I say something, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't know that, my bad. Like I have to be mindful and tread carefully. And I think this is not just it's respect to the energies and respect to where one's mindset is. So now being said, we went from mediumship, we went to psychic, now we're going to go into the energies, okay? So when I say diving into energies, this is where we're mindful and respectful. It's kind of like if you know someone is sad or someone's upset, you don't insert your energy into unless they're communicating with you. You don't insert your mind into their business. It's like how do you filter and let the energies move through you without including your energy into it? Ooh.
It's just when it comes to stuff like this, first of all, if someone is sad and I don't want to like intrude into their energy, I mean, like it's all respect. So I need to be respectful of their energies and their personal space as well. And this comes in all shapes and forms, like in person, also in energy as well. If someone needs some time off, I will disconnect from that. This is one of the reasons why we go through the healing journey and learn to surrender and practice the emotions, what is going on. So we don't have to absorb anything. We just have to go with the flow of it. If I feel something's off, I can show up. I can be there. If that person is aligned with that energy-wise, if they're vibrating that, I can quite easily sense and feel if that is aligned or not, like if they need some space for themselves or not, if that makes any sense.
I think that's a beautiful way of bringing it forward. And I say this because I also understand, when I'm not in that caliber of where their mindset is, if unfortunately, the alignment changes. And when I say unfortunately, it doesn't mean that person doesn't care for you. It just means that what you're going through, there's a respect to honor what you're going through. And if that other person is moving in a different direction, there's also respect for the other person. And I find that sometimes that can be received in a negative aspect where someone is not ready to say, like, do I stink? Am I the problem? I don't think I'm the problem. Because when you become attuned to energies, you're like wanting to tread lightly, like, wait a minute, what happened? Maybe
what's going on? Yeah, I completely understand it. But this is also where when we are attuned, when we hear stuff, it's like we can also sense that something else is going on, or we receive the information of why this is happening currently. So there's always reasons behind it, but you just stay a few steps ahead of it. It's usually what I recommend.
Because we are psychic, we get the hits and we get the downloads. Okay, be mindful, careful, and I know that as I say that there's this rule within one of the books, the 4 Agreements, where don't take anything personal. So when you're in this job and you are truly moving with energies, you want to have that open mind with no judgment. And it's okay if someone is going through something that you don't agree with, and still having differences, but yet still honor the energies, right?
Always honor the energy, always. And when it comes to judgment as well, judging someone that's human created, we're not supposed to do that. So we stay away from doing that. And it's also to have the understanding of everyone is going through different stuff. Everyone is on a different path on their journey. So therefore, just to have an open mind to help one another to get to the point where they are needed to go.
Now, when you say help one another, right? Not everybody is going to be open to your help, and that's okay. So I feel like
that's okay.
And I think that when we're awakened, we want to be like, I want to help everybody. I want to help the masses. Cool. I feel so like the golden, like, what do they call it? The chosen one.
Exactly.
So we are all gifted and chosen. We all have this ability. Let me ground that in for people to change the mindset. There are few that can go and elevate and work in different ways because we all tap into different energy centers, right? But doesn't mean that one is greater or more than other. It just means we're all working very differently to the ultimate goal is to feel better, to excel, and to be able to be whatever your desire is trying to create for you. So it's a journey of self-discovery. But at the same time, David, when I say that, it just takes me back to the different planes and different frequencies. We went from boom, mediumship, the spirit world, then we went into psychic, and then we went into energy. And then tell me about healing. Like if we go into healing, why does healing work when you're working with energy? What have you noticed when you're tapped into those frequencies? Why do you feel that it is working and it's doing its job with your intent?
So it's more when I channel it, it's that I pull in very high frequent energy. It's basically unconditional love that I feel and I pull forward to me and through me. So that itself is very uplifting energy. But when I work with it as well, just how I know it works is that I get really warm, like because that's how I operate with it. Some people, when they connect with spirits and work with energy, they get really cold. So it's like the opposite. But that's one of my signs that I started to open up a bit more. But it's also about the practice, right? How I operate, how I see it, how I visualize it, because I use particular focus on where I want to be drawn to it and where I want to channel the energy itself. But it's just you feel when you sit in that power, when you sit in that light, and that is coming forward and going through you and looping through your energy field entirely, and then through your hands, so you can start manipulating stuff. So it's just to have the awareness of it, what's going on, basically, is what I want to say.
I want to validate when you one time held space for me, we were clearing a chakra. We were working on the root chakra and the sacral in one area. I think it was more the root. And for me, because I'm clairvoyant, I have that ability to see the chakra system. And it's interesting. It opened. So I saw it open. It's like a container that opens. And then the cords were being moved and I could see the red and I was starting to get hot. So I could feel the energies when you were connecting, and then I could see the cords cutting, and then I could see the energy illuminating. So to validate to you, what you were doing as one who received energy work from you, I can see that you were targeting the right area. I knew we were going to work on the root chakra, and me being elevated to help it. I'm like, let's get that baby moving. Let's get it operating. So
yes, let's get it flowing.
Yes. So I'm like, yeah, get those suckers out of there. Get those cords out. I need my root chakra back. Like, let me ground myself, And as I say that, it's because we are in that quantum field, right? And so when we're talking the quantum entanglement, quantum fields, energy, like you just said, your coworker was personality change. And I think what people don't understand is, well, I like people to understand. And sometimes when we're not psychic or mediums, we don't know that this happens. And I feel this is one of the biggest things that I keep close to my heart, because it can impact someone so deeply if they don't know what's happening to them. And I pause in this because if you're a medium and you're walking out there and you're going from one emotion to another emotion, from one thought to another thought, from one personality to another personality, it can come off as you have multiple personality disorder. You can have, different diagnoses, and unfortunately, when we're misunderstood in that way, it can come off very chaotic. And if we can get to the mindset and change a different perspective, not that we will never take away from a diagnosis or mental health, but maybe we can give a different way to work with it. Let's try this, or let's move it there. And I've seen a lot of people suffer when they didn't realize they were mediums. They just wanted the energies to stop.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's just to also understand that you're not alone in what you're going through, and there's many people going through it without even realizing it. So there's always more people, but it's also to understand that it goes a little bit beyond what we are being taught naturally, like to begin with. So it's usually nothing to be afraid of and stuff like that. It's just to understand here, like in the heart, first and foremost, when we feel differently, when we feel something is not truly yours, it's because it's probably not, because you're probably talking with someone, or someone is having a conversation with you.
Ooh. Boom, right there. And it's also a reminder that it's not a scary process, because I kind of, I brought it in a different way, and Spirit's like, but it's not harmful. So it's not harmful because what they showed me right now as I channeled in, it could have been your mom or your grandmother or your father that was blending with you, that maybe in spirit to say, baby, I got you. So it's also, where was your thoughts before those energies shifted, right? If you
Yes.
thought, isn't this, it's pretty intense unfolding. This is why awakenings can be really hard. Tell me, when you go through your awakenings, David, what would you like the collective to know about what symptoms happen on a psychic level, for one that you witness when you're on TikTok? Like, for instance, what are people experiencing?
It's when they so I will combine my experience as well, going through my awakening and my Kundalini awakening and stuff like that too. It's this is what a lot of people are going through currently, is if you don't have any information prior to what's going on, it can be like, oh, I feel stuff, I see stuff, and what is actually happening, I can't really understand where the thoughts are coming in because they're not mine. It's quite difficult to have a connection to earth when you're going through a spiritual awakening, especially as well combined with a Kundalini awakening. Because when that happened to me, it was like I was going through different dimensions at once. So therefore, I kind of like lost my footholding on what is earth and what the things that I'm seeing, what is what. Like I couldn't really decipher. And this is also what I'm teaching people as well when they come into my TikTok lives. They're like, what is going on? Why do I hear some of the things? What is expanding? I can't understand. It's just the first and foremost thing that I recommend is start grounding. Like, get a footholding here. You go into Mother or to nature, connect with Mother Earth. Like, maintain here so you can listen and hear properly. Because when we go very, very high, we just like I did, I went through dimension of the dimension of the dimension very rapidly. So I was like, I kind of like lost my footholding here. So I didn't really understand what was real or not, if that makes any sense.
I think it's important to use the word what is not real, right? And I think when you're talking about going, it's like what goes up must come down. And so when we're in those vibrations of, my God, I'm seeing my loved ones, I'm seeing I want to say the galactic, or I'm connecting to Merlin, or I'm connecting to that magic energy. And it feels really good when our bodies are healing, because I truly, for me, I receive healing when I'm traveling in that way. I really enjoy elevating. And I was talking to my friend Erica, Erica, and we were talking about how many times did we go through a spiritual rebirth, So it's like you speak of that, and it kind of gives me that sense of like the rebirth of it, of you're going up and you're integrating it back to the frequency of here and now. So when you're traveling, are you in the future? Are you in the moment?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's a good question to have always when you're traveling. Where are you? Like, what are you seeing? When is it happening? Always ask questions regarding anything.
I agree.
Be curious.
I think what's important, and I'm guilty of this, David, is we get downloads, we get visions, we travel that way, but we forget to ask, what year? What year are we in? What month are we in? When is this gonna happen? Or what, are we in the now, or did this happen already? So it's not rush, give it to me. It's pause. And if you missed it, go back again the next day and let it unfold, right? Because we want answers so quickly. What do you think about everybody just wanting to know the answer? Like, what do you think about that?
It's like a rush, isn't it? Like you feel it, you feel it here, and you see something, you're like, oh, I want to know, like, because you can feel that it's on its way. So it's just a reminder. And this is also when it comes to love, like always, anything. It's just slow down. You have heard it's on its way. Do you connect, ground? Because the more you detach from that, the quicker that can come forward, because you're not pulling the energy from it, if that makes any sense.
So it's like the anticipation, it's coming. And this goes back to energy, y'all. So if we look at, oh my gosh, the energy, the emotion, the personality, the manipulations of the flows is all coming in different waves. And you got to look at it like this, right? if we're watching TV and you look at the minds and the minds of the waves coming, and you have the whole collective with different mindsets, and then so the waves are moving, and that whatever direction portal or vortex that's open, the waves are hitting you, and you're like, yes, baby, it's coming. The anticipation's here, the buildup. You're like, ooh, what is it? And you know something's coming, but you just don't have it all unfolded. Use that energy, anchor it, and ride with that energy. It's coming to you to uplift you, to help you feel that manifestation or feel that desire. And so I love when you say love is coming, because I feel like everybody wants love. Where's my love coming? I feel like, you're on TikTok. It's like, does he love me? And I want to say, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the thing, right? Each and every one of us can read energy. If you feel like something is off, it's most likely because it is.
That's
if you
right.
feel like something is going on or something is happening, or if it's right, you can feel it. Always feel first. That's the first sign of tapping into something. So always pay attention to your heart. It's that easy. But
I breathed through that one.
It's also a big. Yeah, because you mentioned that as well when it comes to like reading the energies. Like if someone is also going through. Someone in here needs to hear this, that's going to listen to it. So when we're also reading energy, it can be a little bit difficult to understand when, the timing of it. So if we were to practice pulling cards, if we were to practice stuff like that, is pull the cards, let it sit, let them be there for an hour, go away and come back and try to tap into it to feel when it is happening. So there's no rushing.
Pendulums too, right? Like,
Pendulum is great.
So now Spirit is bringing other ways to tap into energy. Oh my God, like tea leaf readings, coffee readings. I could see you doing coffee readings because you and I love coffee.
I do love coffee, but it's like this also. But this is also something that is important for the energy to be out there, and the information is when we start reading and practicing energy work. There's no such thing as doing the wrong thing. You're doing your way. If you want to read cards first to be able to attune and understand energy and how to operate with it, go with the flow. Just because some people can read energy just like that without using any tools doesn't mean that they are better. It's just they maybe have been in that without understanding and are quite evolved already when it comes to energy reading. But we all can do it. We just need to learn the energy language again. And this is where like divination tools are amazing, is because we're tapping in for the first time, maybe in a long time. And so I'm trying to understand it. So just a reminder to go slow.
You just took me to ancient wisdom and how one would read the sun, or how one would talk to the sun or communicate with the moon and communicate with the energies of the planet, and what symbols were left behind in the form of runes, and symbols and symbolic symbols, geometric systems and colors. So Spirit will communicate with us in so many ways. And so when you spoke of that, Spirit took me to different timelines of what it's holding from history and how we unfold it in the moment of now. So timelines and using the energies from the past to benefit you now in this moment of now. So David, what a beautiful unfoldment from the mind of your insights perspective. I thank you for being a guest with me here on the show for the collective and community. What are you doing? What are you offering? Tell the world.
Well, I'm offering my insights on TikTok. I go live quite often nowadays. I also do my own music as well. So I'm going out with some new singles. It's coming out. Like just one guy, I just dropped one. But then I'm also opening up some courses as well. So that is coming into to learn how to tap in, learn how to feel energy, and the first steps of what is actually going on and how can I attune. So that is also coming in.
Okay, now drop your handle for TikTok. Where is your TikTok handle at?
All right, so my TikTok handle, you can just search for my name, David Kárpáti, or I go also by the 6 Sense as well. No space in between, just underscores instead. So you can find me in that way. But I'm also on Instagram as well. But I'm more active on TikTok.
More active on TikTok, everybody. He has amazing songs out there. I will say he has an amazing podcast on Twin Flames for those who want love, understand love, karmic love, and all of that stuff. He not only is he a cool dude, but he's doing cool things. So give David Kárpáti a follow. Thank you, Mr. Sweden, for being here as a guest with me. Until next time, much love, everybody. Bye.
Bye.